You know, the weeks seem to kick off more and more with big news when it comes to video games, and I gotta say, as a fan of video games, I absolutely love to see that. One of the things that gets me more excited and actually gets me excited to continue to do videos day after day, aside from the people that enjoy the content or that leave the likes and things like that, is the fact that they share my excitement for big news and for good news in the gaming industries. Like, it just really does seem like now, especially that we're into the new year, we're getting more and more content, we're getting more and more games. This is what it's all about. This is what video game fans and this is what it's all about. Getting the new announcements and things like that, When you hear, Respawn is coming out with 3 new Star Wars games, or when you hear that Microsoft is allowing Activision to do will allow Activision to do older IP and things like that. I think that's exactly what gets people excited. And even with announcements like this, it's definitely worth getting excited over. And I also think that fans in general are going to be talking about a lot of these great announcements for a long time to come. And just, I think Microsoft is really kind of hitting the nail on the head when it comes to this. I mean, yes, we're going to be going into February, and I think it's going to be a fantastic month for video games, and I'm sure we're going to be getting even more and more announcements, and that's the exciting part. Is you never know what you're going to wake up to. Are we going to get, what type of announcements are we going to get? Is it going to be big? Is it going to be small? Is it going to be game related? Is it going to be hardware related? There's just so much to really kind of go out there and just be excited about. I think that is the really key port and key notification that everybody looks for, So hopefully you guys enjoy when I do the videos about this stuff, because I certainly enjoy talking about all this stuff. And I wanted to jump right into this, and hopefully you guys are excited and having a good week, because I know I am. It's just been a blast. I'm more into gaming now than I have been in a very long time, and I love it. I gotta say, it's fantastic. So I'm looking forward to see what happens next. With that being said, let's go. It's going to be a topic you don't want to miss, a video you don't want to miss. Hey there, everyone. I'm the Crapgamer, and of course, this is Crapgamer Reviews, your home for gaming news, opinions, reviews, and much more. You'll probably notice some changes around here, but hopefully that doesn't stop from giving us a like, and possibly even consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. Thank you so much for spending some of your free time with me today. And you know what? I just want to say thank you. A like is all I require. If you guys enjoy the content, I do daily content. There's always stuff, big and small, that happens every day, and I like reporting on it. So, I love video games. It's hopefully that is obvious to everybody. You know what I mean? So yeah. When it comes down to what Microsoft has done, right? Microsoft has really done a good job of kind of changing the game, so to speak, right? So they buy Activision, they buy, Bethesda. They're doing these things that are appealing to a large number of fans, a contingent number of fans. And what's interesting is when we get some of the responses to this, right? So people are like, well, why did Microsoft do this? Or why is Digital Foundry, kind of sucking up to Microsoft for doing this? Well, you guys got to understand, Microsoft used to be looked at as an outsider of video games, and now they're not an outsider. They're one of the companies that can actually help save video games. And what I mean by that is, it's quite simple, right? The last thing a console gamer should want is for a company like Netflix or Google or Amazon or Tencent to gobble up one of these developers or publishers, right? I know that it sounds like that I'm being facetious or something, but I'm not. It really is a key thing for them for Microsoft or Sony or Nintendo to step in and get these publishers or developers well before one of these conglomerates that are kind of outsiders. So Netflix actually had a response to Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard's, and it was actually a positive one. Many personalities have reacted positively to the sudden event that happened a few days ago. Administrators from Netflix have reacted to Microsoft's recent announcement of the initiated takeover of Activision Blizzard, claiming Microsoft's latest maneuver has further shown that subscription-based services are effective. Microsoft also upholds Game Pass, which boosts 25 million subscribers and is predicted to expand in coming years, which is pretty obvious if you think about it. Netflix CEO and Chief Product Officer Greg Peters commented during the corporation's recent earnings briefing. It was exciting to see the activity in the space, he said, and I think to some degree it's an endorsement of the core thesis that we have around subscriptions being a great model to connect consumers around the world with games and game experiences. He also went on to say, so such an expansion would demonstrate the validity of the idea of the subscription service, also concerning video games according to Netflix, offering references to Xbox Game Pass, of course. So Netflix has a plan to expand into gaming. They've also grown its root in the gaming space in recent years, so it's no surprise to see that they like the potential of these unexplored sort of situations. They also have slowly started to tap into the mobile gaming industry. As Peters mentioned, that fans can expect to see Netflix make further progress in this space when it comes to licenses. He says, we're open to licensing, accessing large game IP that people will recognize, and I think you'll see some of that happen over the years to come. As CEO stated, Netflix will initiate new casual and hardcore games as early as 2022, expanding Netflix's game library available in the subscription. However, the idea is to experiment for now, to see what works for them. It is also offering interactive experiences of several types that could stand between the categories of video games and television series. Netflix has already started to execute its idea based on titles experimenting with small games when they offer in their subscription. However, Peters assured that the commitment they are willing to put in this area, with the desire to soon launch new games of various types, also dedicated to widen its audience. They went on to say that Netflix will consider making interactive experiences instead of just licensed games, but we also see back to tests like buildings of a whole bunch of different types of games and things like that. So again, you have Netflix really kind of joining into this situation with video games, and is that really something that people want to see, right? Could you imagine Netflix possibly buying up Activision, and us not getting Activision on the consoles anymore or something like that? I don't know. Like, for me personally, I just feel like what's going on with the video game world, it's the lesser evil, in my opinion, right? Like, it just is. It's definitely the lesser evil, and I feel like what Microsoft is doing is appealing to a much wider audience than what Sony could do or whatever, right? So one of the reasons why I talk about this is because as an Xbox fan, there's been times where, I want a game, okay, and I'll give you a good idea. Killer Instinct launched on the Xbox One. I love that game. I thought it was really well put together. And Double Helix, the team that built that game, ended up being bought by Amazon. And so Microsoft had to go to a different company to get Season 2 done and things like that. And I think it turned out okay because the game was still good, but I don't know which version I liked best. Was it the Double Helix? I don't know. It's like you don't want to find out. You don't want your games to kind of be half-assed or whatever. And you could make the argument that, since Crackdown 3 was made by a different developer than the first Crackdown, that's why. But I mean, when you don't own the developer that's making your franchises, it really kind of leaves you out there to kind of have a lackluster game. And this can happen to anybody, to be honest with you. So it is very interesting to see that. And I think that at the end of the day, Sony would even be in a much, much worse situation if something like that happened, you know what I mean, where possibly Warzone and everything is pulled off of their platform. So I do hope that we see something happening tonight, or not tonight, but something that happens in the future that realistically is a positive for both Microsoft and Sony, because I feel like this announcement that Microsoft has is just the beginning. I think they're definitely going to be getting more things in the future like this. So don't sleep on what's happening. I think it's quite clear that Microsoft is in this to, I don't want to say just win it, but they're in it to revolutionize it, and they're taking things into a completely different type of situation than we've ever seen before. So yeah, I do hope that we continue to see some changes and some movement from Sony and Microsoft. But it's an exciting time regardless. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on this. Do we really need consolidation? Is it bad? Is it good? Just what do you guys think about this? Like, for me personally, I think consolidation, depending on what it is, like Tencent getting something. I don't see why enough people are not talking about the trouble with Tencent going out there and gobbling up all these corporations and the problems that has. But you know, they're quick to kind of attack Microsoft or attack Sony if they buy a studio or whatever. Like, to me, Sony or Microsoft buying it, being in the video game world, is a good thing, as opposed to something like Tencent. But that's just my 2 cents. What do you guys think? Sound off, rate, comment, subscribe, rack 'em up, fact 'em up, Crap Gamer 'em up. Thanks for watching. Crap Gamer out.